Hello! The goal of this video is to illustrate how dimensioning an architectural drawing, such as a floor plan or an elevation or etc., would go. Basically, the definition of dimensioning is the graphic conveying of measurements, and we always dimension in feet and inches. We never go up to 13 inches. It's always 1 foot, 1 inch. We never do 0 feet, so many inches. It's always just writing in inches. So the things that we need to use when drawing our extension lines is we need a straight edge, or you can use a ruler, or anything that you know for sure is straight. You need a mechanical pencil or a lead holder like this, and you need your triangle. So there are 3 different kinds of dimension lines. There's the primary extension dimension line, which is the farthest one out, and I'll draw it for you right here. It's going to be the top, and it's for just basically the whole width of the floor plan or elevation. Then there are secondary, which is any major walls or structural elements, and then our tertiary, which is the third ones, and those will be any supplementary walls, doors, or windows. So I'm going to go ahead and do the primary dimension right here, and this is what I'm drawing right here is an extension line, and you just extend all the way up from the original floor plan. That's why we call it an extension line. Just extend. And they never actually touch the actual floor plan. There's going to be a gap right here. It's just basically, really close to show that they're separate and it's not actually part of the floor plan. And then we're going to use our straight edge to go right across. You only need a little bit left over on the top so you have room to write on it. There's going to be leftover on the top right here on both sides and on the sides of the dimension line. And you want these to be consistent. So they should be the same length going outward and the same length on the top. Next step, we need to have an architectural tick mark, and this tick mark goes right in between where they connect to make kind of like an X, and you use your triangle. Nothing ever should be free-handed unless you're lettering, and these should also be consistent and the same length on both sides, and they always start left to the bottom and right to the top. And then we will dimension, and the dimensioning, the letters and numbers should always be 3/16 of an inch unless you are asked otherwise. I'll dimension right in the center here so it looks nice. And I do 20 feet, dash, 0 inches. There's always a dash in the middle, unless you're just writing in inches. Then we would do a secondary one, and because you're still using the same width of the floor plan, you don't need to do new extension lines. You would just go back with your straight edge and a little bit lower. This is why you draw the primary one really high, so a little bit lower you'll draw the secondary one. And any of the tertiary or still secondary elements like doors or whatever, you would just write right on here, and they don't have to go all the way up, just a little tick here to show the width of the door. Every line must have a tick mark, and all tick marks must be done with your triangle. No line should be left without tick marks, or it's incorrect. Also, any dimension lines, so if I write this one and I have 2 feet 8 inches, I could not leave these empty. These would all have to have dimensions on them, or it's wrong, and your teacher will be very upset with you. All dimension lines and extension lines should be a medium width, like the line weight should be medium, not too hard, not too small. Basically, the leftovers need to stay consistent. You always dimension on top of the dimension line. So if I do, because dimension lines could be on any side of your floor plan. So if I do a dimension over here, this is my extension line, here's my other extension line, and then I have the dimension line right here. I would have to write my tick marks right here, which I would use my triangle for. And I would have to write on top, and I would do just X, and then I'd go back and have the correct measurements right there. And also, any erasing you do, make sure you use a brush to erase everything. And that is just about it.